Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and season's greetings. Happy holidays to everyone from USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is presenting pet psychic Aminah. Let's get her out here. Hey there, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice
I
to
love
see
your
you.
background. I told you already. It's just so cheery, and your dress is perfect with it. You must have been doing this a while.
I have good partners, that's for sure.
There
So
you go.
I have to give credit to Daphne DeLucci because she's the branding expert. She comes up with these beautiful graphics. So yay.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so thrilled. You know, we're 1 week before Christmas Eve, and we've got a lot of great topics to discuss today. Before we get right into it, I'm going to spotlight you. And if you can give people who are watching maybe for the first time, welcome, a little bit of information about your background.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I have spent literally a lifetime studying, working with, and being fascinated by all things nature and animals, plants. I love the spiders and the honeybees and all of the things that come with it. What I share with you is where you're at. So if you want to know about how to get squirrels out of your bird feeder, I can give you a tip. Slinkies. We're going to go with that. And I can help you with training. I am a trained trainer. I also have worked in a vet clinic, so I can talk medicine. And of course, I'm going to send you to a vet for all of that. But we can get do I need to go to a vet? Do I need to do this? I have an eclectic clientele. I have a client that I've been working for a very long time, and he has snakes. Right now he has one, and we talk to his snake. Yes, his snake talks back because he communicates with him. They're very passionate. He and his partner are very passionate about this snake, and it's a long-term commitment. So we talk about caging and housing and food. There's so much that animals need, just like us. And if you're having behavior problems with the people or the pets, we can talk about that, because that is where I really, really want the communication to be both sides. But if you don't know the language, if you don't know what a cat's ear tilt means, or you don't know what a swishing tail means, or fur that's all fluffed out, I can help with all of that as a great translation of what you want. And I'll meet you wherever you're at, emotionally, physically, and educationally. I would love to see everybody go to a professional, myself or someone else, a trainer or something, before you adopt, because we can fill in maybe a few details that you haven't thought of yet. But come, ask your questions. I'll be glad to help in any way I can.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aminah. That was beautiful. I want to get right into it because I've got a number of topics that I've been interested in talking about. But first, I want to just share, when I saw you last week, there was a lizard in the house, and we talked about that. And this week, in the middle of the night, you know, we have to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And as I turned the light on, in the bathroom was a lizard. And the lizard was right where I was going. And I swear it looked at me. It had these big eyes, and it was not the same lizard as the other one. This one was gray. And I looked at it and I said, Bob, I'm going to go with Bob, because
I always go with Bob. You're so funny. Everybody's Bob.
I know. I heard you. I'm like, Bob. I said, Bob, I really need to go where you are, and I'd like you to move if possible. And Bob was not moving. So I approached Bob, and then I just shut the door, and that was the end. So it doesn't matter. So now we have two in the house. So
Uh-oh.
I'm
And
sure
you
they're
know, if
eating
you keep
bugs.
talking to them and you keep be so hospitable, they're going to, hey, you know, I know this great blonde down the street and she's got a great place. Well, you also have to have a few bugs because they won't stay very long because like, but her food sucks because she never has anything. And they'll get the word out and that type of stuff. But remember, you need either that old Christmas cup, you know, a little cup to scoop them up,
Yeah.
or you need some vehicle like that's handy. I always kept like one Christmas cup in the bathroom and one in the living room, and whoever was needing an escort out,
Escort, I love that. Hello, Bob, we're
I had the
escorting you out.
handy dandy piece of paper and the cup, and you go like this, and you put the paper over the edge because they're like, I don't know what paper is, and off they go outside the door. And we either lay the cup there and then come back for it. But it's so funny because you get those really ridiculous plastic Christmas cups.
Yes, those red ones. But you know,
Yeah.
the little lizards, and I know they grow to all different sizes, and there's iguanas, but they move fast. They
Oh my gosh,
ooh,
yes.
and they can go on the ceiling and the wall and just
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
but they are killing bugs.
Everything. Try Skin So Soft. It's from Avon, and it's just a baby oil. And you don't have any young dogs to lick it or anything like that because it smells lovely. It smells lovely. But Skin So Soft is great for ants. I used to get them coming out the faucet of the tub. Oh,
Mhm.
drove me crazy. Like, dude, there's nothing here. What are you looking for? And it was water. They were going for water. It was during the drought. But I would pour that down the wall and they would go, oh, that is not the water I'm looking for because it's not there. You can put it on a cotton ball and wipe it around the windows and that will keep everybody, because they're coming in somewhere and we can't seal it all. But you can create that heavenly smell that Skin So Soft smells pretty girly fun, but for you that probably wouldn't be a problem because you just have women in your home, and you can put that like around, and then every so often you can freshen it up, but it's harmless. It offends their nose. I'm going to go with all of them have great scent, but they go in, oh, sticky, and they're like, no, this is terrible. So I would put it around any place that I thought, or I can see that I've already had them enter by.
That's
And
good.
it's harmless. It was something I needed to find when my children were small. And of course, it's not meant to be eaten, but most people are just going to go, ooh, baby oil,
Right.
So these are tricks that you can use without raid, without comment, without toxics, things that might kill you also.
Right. I'm totally in support of that. To your knowledge, do lizards have good eyesight?
Good is subjective.
Yes.
Good as in an eagle? No. That's miles of great sight. Good for their size? Yes. And they have, some have tongues. So imagine you're looking at a lizard this way and their tongue comes out another, whatever, 3 to 4 inches. Their sense of smell will go at least that far, if not a little bit farther. They are well aware of the vibration of the soil. So when we walk, when anybody walks, imagine cattle when they are in a herd. Everybody knows they're going by,
Right.
especially if you've been around buffalo. Ooh, they really are heavy. So they feel that vibration and they can tell because they're around it all the time. Okay, this is human, this is cat, this is dog. Hey, there goes a cricket. We're going that way. They can feel the vibration as it changes with the sound, because a cricket's going to have wings. It's going to make a fluttery sound when they walk. So it's different. I know I used to make fun of a friend of mine. He thought he was cool, so he did that, jump walk thing. I'm too white for it. He wasn't. And he's like, you look ridiculous. I said, so do you. Stop doing that.
Well, so a question I have then about the eyesight. If they have decent eyesight, they can see that a human is much larger, right?
Yes.
So,
but they tend to, if we're going to stick with bugs, and of course, everybody remember, this is not an answer for every bug on the planet. It is a generality. They're going to go still. They're going to hold still and go, oh, you don't see me. You don't see me. And that kind of stuff. Mosquitoes are more proactive and they're just going to bite you, especially if they can smell that you're, warm-blooded, that
Right.
type of stuff, because that's what they consume, and that type of stuff. A spider also doesn't want anything to do with you because he can't eat you. So he also knows that we are the big carnivore. We are the one, that could take their lives and that type of stuff. So a lot of times you'll see some spiders will run back to their nest or where there it is, or they'll just hold really, really, really still. You have to know what you're dealing with and what their reaction is. So think it logically out. Spider, gonna run really, really, really fast. He's gonna get out of there. Everybody else, cockroaches, the same thing. They run really, really fast. So just give them a path to get by you. And then you don't have to worry about oh my gosh, he's going to run up my leg. Nah, that's not where they want to be. That would be a really, really bad choice. Know what you've got and how fast they can move. And then you make that decision on what path you give them to get out away from you.
I love that. Now, what about on a larger scale? We've talked about this, but I think it's worth mentioning, depending on where you live. What about the iguanas that we see? They're in the trees, then they're in the middle of the road. If they're in the middle of the road or they're in the middle of the path where you have to go, do you just try to have a conversation?
Make another path.
Okay, turn around.
Because we're talking now Florida size. Okay,
Right.
We're talking really tropical areas. We don't have iguanas unless somebody let one loose. That's really rare. Could you imagine in California, go down Main Street and go, I think that's in the wrong place.
Hey, buddy, need a lift? No.
Yeah, I think I'll just follow Bob there because, everybody's Bob. Anyways, so if you're in your area, you're going to talk about the reptiles. Look at the golfing situation. They're golfing around alligators,
Yes.
and birds, and the birds are thinking, "Oh, my egg! Oh, there it is. There it goes." It's a whole menagerie out there. Alligators a whole different kind of lizards that you're dealing with, and just steer clear. They are fast. They might walk really, really slow, but they're really fast. So the same with the lizards. They're going to be really, really fast. So, the best thing is if you can pick another path, step over them. It's easy to say, hard to do. Stay calm. Stay calm, stay calm, stay calm. Find a song. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star comes to mind, or, Mary Had a Little Lamb or something that just brings your energy down. Because when you're heightened, and that could be happy, sad, mad, glad. Because when you're mad, your energy's high. When you're sad, your energy's high. Sad, but still very, very intense. So you've got to find that center of saying, okay, giant alligator in front of me. Should I dance? No, I'm not qualified.
Should you just stand there?
Wow. Every situation is going to be completely, I can't give a blanket answer. So everybody remember, there's no one answer. I'm not there on the ground with you. If you walk up and you see the tail, turn around and walk away. Left or right would be better than straight back, because they can whip around really, really fast if they feel threatened. And they could run you down in seconds. So go sideways, go midway, go back to the trees or something. They can't climb trees. You could do that. But palm trees, or I don't know what they got in Florida anymore. I don't know that would be it. You want to think, weave and dodge. Some of them do it. Now, let's say a kangaroo's after you. Well, just stand still because he's going to catch you anyways.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You go running around, racing and running, and it's like, do you have a chance anyway? But
and
if you're
then
on
they'll wear you out, and they're going to
Then
punch you in the gut anyway. I mean, those feet that kangaroos have are powerful. They're hopping
now,
around
do
all day
kangaroos
long.
eat humans?
No, they don't.
Okay. Will they pick you up and put you in their pouch?
Oh, thank God, no, because we won't even fit. But they will defend their territory. They will defend their family. They will defend everybody. And those feet break noses, break legs. The power of their feet alone is really where they're going to get you. And their tail, oh my gosh, people don't realize their tail is like getting whiplashed by a rope. Like the climbing ropes, the really, really jute, strong rope. Oh my gosh, that's what their tail can do to you. And they use it for balance. So if you're sitting on your tail and pushing yourself off on your tail all day long, yeah, that is a powerful weapon for them. And they do have claws in their front. But they're really going to go after you with their feet and their tail pretty much first. And if you don't back off or, I don't know, fall over or play dead or something, I'm no expert. I haven't had to play dead with that. I have one-on-one experience with rattlers and snakes in general, not only living in places where they are all the time. All of California in different parts have it, but I've told this story before. I'm going to use it again. Walking up on a snake. I actually was there at midnight where I was working, and my coworker and I walked up, and we were just side by side because it was late. So we were being really quiet. So the animals were asleep and all that type of stuff. And I said, "Hey, Bill, there's a rattler at our feet." Cause I periphery, I'm like, there's something at my feet. So I looked down a little bit and was like, yeah, I know what that body type is. And so all he and I did was, because he's used to working out there, I'm used to working out there, we were perfectly calm. I mean, stone calm. And then we stepped back to things, and that snake took off like lightning and hit his backside. He can smell that we're the carnivore. He can smell that we are a whole lot bigger. So the biggest thing to do in the worst situations, car accidents that you're in, you feel like you're having a heart attack, that would be a really hard one. Staying calm is a game changer on all of these scenarios, So please think about that. If you can practice, you can also get through really tough personal situations, like a horrible argument with a family member or something that just gets off track. And you go, why? What are we yelling about now? Everybody takes that deep breath and says, okay, let's go to our neutral corners, take a deep breath, and maybe come back. But
good
calm
direction there
is really hard. It's really, really hard. And you take those meditation classes, you take your whatever, think of, I don't know, if looking at a field of daisies calms you down, then you do the visualization. It is huge. People really live by changing what their mind is doing and getting a new picture of, no, I can do this. If you love rainy days, and I know a lot of people just love rainy days, and this the comfort of them and all of that, then go to your rainy day. Go to wherever pulls you down to get my heart rate down, get this done, and you will find it will save you not only in a crisis, but you'll live longer. You and I know you do yoga for a reason. You do meditation for a reason. You do go for a walk. For me, going for a walk is my zen. And if I'm in the trees and the bushes and all that, and somebody's pet runs by, I'm happy.
It's a friend. You're like, hi, friend. How are you?
Exactly.
You must know Bob.
And that's what I'm saying. You just figure out what works for you, and have some kind of trigger, or have something that you could just go, okay, this is that moment where I need to take a deep breath. And guess where that will cascade into? An argument with your husband, an argument with your daughter, an argument with your mom, dad, cousin, next door neighbor, they left the trash out, whatever. If you can bring your energy down in one situation, you can cross over to the rest of your life. You can.
Yes, you can. Amen to that. I love it. I want to move on to a couple of other topics, and I think it's really relevant. We talked about this before. A lot of pets are purchased for gifts during the holidays. Then the reality sets in January. It's like, oh, someone has to feed the pet. Someone has to care for the pet, take the pet for the pet shots. So let's talk a little bit about what you would recommend as a good routine in general to take care of your pets. And you can make specific pets. It could be a dog, a cat, whatever it is, because there might be different suggestions.
Right. So overall, let's get like 3 that would be for everybody. Know what these animals would be like. I'm going to word this as carefully as I can, because this is a really important thing you've asked me. And first, study and look up everything you can on the type of animal you've got. If you've got a bird, read up on birds. I mean, any bird. Start anywhere. You can absolutely need to talk about the bird you've got. A sun conure is so different than a parrot, which is different from a finch, which they need different stuff, but they're also a little bit different communication. Birds in general are noisy, messy, and you need to know if you're the right person to handle a bird. If you're going to get a larger bird, you need a glove. You need something to protect your arm and that type of stuff. You need to decide if you're going to spend a lot of time with them, because you get, I've actually worked and had a sun conure, and you get up into the big parrots also. They are very bonded to their owners because you have taken the place of their mate, of what they would have done in the wild. And so you really need to realize that. With my sun conure, I had small children. They were preteen, so they weren't too little and that type of stuff. But he spent so much time with me that once I left the room, hell broke loose. If he couldn't see me, he would start screaming. And sun conures, like the big parrots, are very loud. Everybody, even one of my neighbors, a door down, she said, I could always tell something was going on because the bird was going. So it was really hard. I couldn't sleep in. As soon as I started moving around in my room, which was all the way across the house, which was very far. So you need to know these things. These birds become very much dependent on their mate, on their family, because that's their flock now. And that's what they would have been around. You need to know that they need special food. You need to know they need exercise, that type of stuff. You get a dog and he's a pack animal. There again, your family is going to be part of it. You get a cat, not so much. So cats are great for people who are a little bit more independent, who don't need to do a lot of grooming, unless you get, a long-haired cat, a Siamese cat, or any of the designer animals that you can get now. Even if it is a cat, you have a better chance to have them just sleep. Like right now, there's 2 cats in this room with me, but you wouldn't know that because they're asleep. And they slept all night because we have habituated them to, this is our rhythm, this is our schedule. We get up, we're out, we're active, but our cats are able to sleep through the night and then sleep pretty much all day. And then they get up with us. But again, it was setting those rules gently, kindly, and firmly, and say, no, this is our schedule. No, this is our schedule. And we've always adopted strays and or rescues. So it's a little bit more work because they've already had a life. We didn't get babies. Only 1 or 2 of them have been babies. They from mother that gave birth out in the wild also. But again, no habits have been bred into them. So that kind of makes sense.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And I have a follow-up question, which is something that I actually did. But when you're getting a new pet, and because they are going to be bonding with you, is it wise to get a second pet to keep the first pet company?
Wow, you're really pulling out the big questions. Again, there's no. Yes, I saw your addiction. The 3 saints, I know, and you have slave written all over your previous slave written all over your head, and we do. I'm going to say this, and I apologize for being blunt, but that's who I am. So everybody, I'm sorry, we all are the problem, by the way. All of it. I made so many mistakes with my sun conure because I loved being around him, and I was learning so much with having a bird of my own this time, as opposed to working with them. So I spent way too much time with the birds. So every time I had to leave, it was a nightmare. The girls went crazy. That bird won't shut up until you walk back in the room. If I wasn't if I rolled over in bed in the morning to go to the restroom, and then, oh, God forbid, I went back to bed, sun conures screech. This is not a lovely Tweety bird. Okay. He's screeching. And my neighbors on both sides said, I always know when you get up, because that bird goes off. It's the worst alarm ever. So know what you're getting. But about the overloving is just as bad as underloving, believe it or not. Ignoring a pet is as bad as overloving a pet, because you end up with behavior problems that quickly deteriorate the relationship. Think about if you are, and I apologize to all the men out there. I'm just going to use an old example because I think people can understand it. So if you've got your wife at home and she's cooking and she's cleaning and she's making sure the dinner's on the table at 5 and that kind of stuff, and he's used to having that, and that was her choice. Okay, nobody forced anybody to do it, but that was how you guys started your relationship. And let's say 10 years later go by, she's got a college degree now, and she leaves and goes out, and all of a sudden you're going through life shock and saying, oh, wait a minute, nobody went and bought milk. Oh, no, we don't have dinner tonight. Oh, let's just do takeout. Oh, and you do takeout about 50,000 times. And you go, okay, I'm done. It would be really hard if I was a husband to say, wait a minute, where was that great life we had before? Because everybody was calm. Everybody was eating dinner together. Everybody went on vacation together. Everybody, had their weekends together. And all of a sudden, one of the party is now hardly available because their career or their life has changed. That's what a pet's looking at, is they're looking at consistency. In their world, everything, yes, okay, one day somebody goes out and hunts, and then the next day somebody else goes out and hunts, and we deal with nature. Well, nature's never the same every day. You have the sun coming up, they have the rain going. They don't have a weatherman telling them, by the way, it's going to rain tomorrow, so please get out your raincoats, and that kind of stuff. People and animal people with their animals, they love a routine. So remember that when you set up that routine. Are you doing today what you want to be doing in 10 years with this animal? Are you feeding them, petting them, taking them for a walk? And this is sustainable. Obviously, it's going to rain someday and you can't go to the park, but that's rare. Or if you live in a place where it rains all the time, okay, that's common, then you all wear rain jackets. But look at what you're doing and then think, do I want to be doing this in 10 years? And you say, well, we can make a change. Absolutely, you can make a change. But you are going to have to go through the transition, which is the work of saying, okay, sorry, I know I've always been home. I know I've always been here. And I have a client who got a cat at the beginning of her college years. And all of a sudden she got a full-time job 5 years later. So now I got a 5-year-old cat and she's gone all day. And they really struggled. They really struggled. She asked for so much help and she's like, what do I do? He's so miserable and he whines the whole time I'm home and whines. And then I found out from my neighbor, he whines while I'm gone. I said, because you didn't give him a chance to have that transition, because lives change. So these are the things I want you to go in planning. Okay, this is what I know I'm going to be doing. Is this the right breed? Is this the right temperament? Is this the right amount of grooming, food, walking, what have you? You have a job where you're gone part of the day, but you can come home at lunch and you guys go for a walk. That's great. But what happens when that job changes? So have a plan. The worst thing I think we all get into in our whole lives, work, family, whatever, is we get comfortable doing the same thing or how things are, and then all of it changes. Who would have guessed 2 years ago we would all be locked down in our houses? I mean, you can read that in history books, but nobody plans to actually be a part of the history. So it took everybody a really long time, and people still struggle with, okay, do I stay home? Do I see friends? Just look at the world we're living in. What I teach and what I really, really preach all the time is, let's plan for what you haven't thought about. Because it's easy to go take the dog for a walk and I'm going to pet him and we're going to snuggle and all those good things are why you want a pet, right? That's the easy part. What are you going to do when they have diarrhea? All over your house.
Oh, yeah.
I used to foster and we got a pack of kittens and oh my gosh, the diarrhea all over the towel. And that was why they needed a home place, because the shelter couldn't give them the care. I was doing sheets because I had to keep the floor covered, and I was doing sheets 3, 4, 5 times a day because I didn't have enough sheets because I needed some for the bed. And so I had the, disposable sheets. I keep everything. I don't care how tattered it is. With pets, it's perfect. Cover your couch, cover your chair, whatever. But these little kittens, they were on meds, and I was taking them back and forth to the vet, and I was, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare job, but wow, did I learn a lot. I also learned where my limitation was, because you think, oh, I've got this. I'm an animal person. I've been doing this forever. No, we all have a limit. We all have a limit. So if you don't want, this is the one clue with any kind of training or adoption. If you don't want to be doing this for the rest of your existence with this animal, don't start. Just don't start. If this is something that you can do once in a while, for example, I would get, like, the dollar store is my favorite place, and it's hot dogs or something like that. And I get the grease on my finger when I want to teach a concept. I want that whole brain focused at me. Well, food does that for carnivores, especially dogs and cats. But am I going to feed them crappy hot dogs all day long because they fell in love with them? No, I'm going to put my foot down and say, no, that was just for that. So I'm not giving them treats here, and I'm not giving them treats here. And you wonder why the animal's like this big, because they're going, oh, but I love you to death. And there goes the treat. And I love you. Don't, I'm going to kill you now because I'm going to give you another treat. And that's when the vets come unglued and say, please stop feeding them. They don't need it, but they're so adorable and dead because they have diabetes and this and this.
Right. We're not doing what's right for them. So
no, you're doing what's right for your emotional gratification. And I always want to go, well, maybe it's time to reevaluate. Why do you have a pet? And there are psychologists that can help. I have one in my family. My daughter does therapy with her dog so that people not only can hug him and hold him and have that experience, a tactile experience of petting a fluffy, allergy-free dog, but also to get that separation from when you're cute, you need care, you need backup, you need support. We've all been there. We have a horrible, rotten day, week, month, year. Animals really will be there for you. But when are you there for them? Because it should be a give and take. Like every good relationship, it should be give and take. Some days I'm going to have bad days, and you've helped me. And I hope to help you when you have bad days and, your 5 guests don't show up or something. I don't know. You never had that problem, but you know what I mean? We can all chip in everywhere, humans to human, because guess what I love about pet owners is they understand kindness. They understand duality of living. They understand that, not all of them, because I walk out my door and there's 5 piles of dog poop. And then one where it's just spread because somebody stepped in it. And I just did a whole series on it's not biodegradable, people. And why would I want it on the middle of the sidewalk? Oh, because the people
I know.
Weird.
When I see that, I just say to myself, what does your house look like? I can't even imagine,
Exactly.
But
well,
so
how do you treat others? Because if you don't care, if we all walk on this or do this and you go, oh, it's somebody else, then you're the one throwing the cup on the ground. You're the one throwing the Kleenex out or the napkin, or you go and do a picnic, but you take the tablecloth, but none of the trash.
Right.
We've all done that because that's not caring about the world you live in or the planet you are or your next door neighbor. And that's where
all really good points. They're really good points. I have a second, a follow-up for you, and it segues with what you were just talking about. And when I had my pets, I showed my dogs, they all passed away. But when I had my pets, they're sitting on your lap, they're sitting on the sofa. And now that I don't have any pets, I'm kind of like, why is your dog on the sofa? Because I have to sit there. I don't know. Like, should you have your pets in your bed, right? Should you have your pets on your sofa, on your chair where people are sitting? It's kind of like, to me, and I'm just putting it out there, and again, I did it. It's almost like, and this freaks me out, when people touch the bottom of their shoes, they pick up the shoe, and I'm like, I'm going to be
Where's
physically
their
ill.
hand been?
I'm going to be physically ill. But it's almost like taking your shoes, rubbing them all over your bed, and then putting your face in it.
That is a great analogy. We got to figure out if I can find a video of somebody doing that. I'll put my new Canva ad. It's like, is this you? We need to
Right?
talk.
But isn't that what it's like?
It is. It is because why we all don't go barefoot anymore. There were a ton of people. One of my relatives got some kind of, not plantar fasciitis, but some other thing because we walk barefoot all the time. And the doctor said, you got an infection so deep. So you stepped on something that got in something and, you had a crack in your heel or something and it got into the body. So what I love is I have a lot of Middle Eastern family. And so we don't wear shoes in the house. We have a shoe rack downstairs and we have a bench. I got a bench. And so everybody can, because I want to sit down. I have a lot of tied lace shoes. And so everything sits down by the main door with a rug that you can wipe your feet on. And what I love about that is just what you said. I'm not bringing the entire planet into my house and all the infections and oh my God, all the people who spit on the ground.
Oh.
Wait,
how about this one? How about this one? You have a large dog and you have a gated yard, a fenced in yard, and you let the dog out to go to the bathroom. And now you never picked it up from the last time the dog went to the bathroom. The dog's literally walking around in waste and bringing it in the house. Hello?
Yeah. Just let them poop in the house because it'll be faster.
Right. You can maybe where's it pick it up
the first month.
Yeah, I don't understand these types of things.
Yeah, because I think we don't see that. And what's really fabulous now that I've gotten to travel so much worldwide. As a kid, I did the US because my dad was a teacher. I've seen the entire United States 5 times. Got Alaska in my last year in the 80s, and that kind of stuff. But you get even if you just went to another state, we do it totally different here in California than they do in Illinois. They do in Chicago. They do in New York State. And pick something. It's different. It's different, and it opens your mind to wow. I could hold food. I mean, look at the way we use utensils. Really pedestrian. I use a spoon or a fork. Okay, cereal spoon, a steak, a fork. But somebody else is using chopsticks, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be the thinnest I've ever been in my life because it's never going to get to me. I'm thinking, can I lick the plate? Can I do that? Yeah, exactly. First time I'm seeing Persian food, and they've got something sweet on it, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? Oh, I remember I put something. My mom wasn't a big cook. My dad came from, the Depression. So it was really basic. So we would put sugar on rice. That was how we ate it. And I'm thinking now, oh my God, the carbs. Oh, good thing I was an athlete. And then I went to my girlfriend who's from China and her parents. And I asked, oh, where's the sugar? And she said, why do you need sugar? And I said, well, to put it on the rice. And then she said, no, the meat sauce goes on the meat on rice. Why would I do that? And then, my whole life changed. and it's about open your mind. There's not just one way to do something. And there's not just one healthy way to do something, because what works for me might not work for you. I'm highly anemic. I had down millions of iron pills to get through the day. And I have had that since I was a kid. And I'm perfectly fine. But somebody who doesn't need that kind of iron and doesn't need those iron-rich vegetables and things in their life, that might be a bad thing. So balance, people. Balance how you treat your animal, and think about what you said about the dog going out. Exactly. Going out, all that poop, all over the place.
And by the way, how does the dog feel about that? The dog's literally,
oh my gosh.
That's not even nice for the dog.
They get to the point where they go, okay, this is what I've got. I've seen abused animals who will put up with being beat and slapped and locked in closet and the whole thing. And that's their pack. That's their existence. They can do better, but they don't think like we do. Like, wait a minute, I'm in poverty. I'm starving. I'm this, you and I specifically, we saw our lives in whatever we did, the college, we did this. And then we went, no, I'm doing my own thing. I want to create my own thing. So we made a choice. Some people don't realize they have that freedom. And a pack animal especially the dogs that are living with people, they don't see that the alpha is giving them a choice, and that's how their hierarchy in their mind works. A lot of people feel that way too. I've
Yeah.
seen Kent, you on these programs with what you talk about is the same thing. Having people feel empowered says, I get to choose. I get to choose who I marry, where I live, and all this kind of stuff. And it might be so mind blowing that it takes time. It takes love and time, but love yourself. And I don't mean the selfish, I, me, we, blah, blah, blah. It is love yourself enough to say, maybe I know I can be better. I know I can do better. If you're an alcoholic or you're smoking, it is really hard to quit. It is really hard to quit. I have no firsthand knowledge, but I've worked with clients who do. And then they say one day the light turns on, the bulb, whatever, tripped over the sidewalk, and they said, oh my gosh, this is not the life I want. This is not the health I want. This is not where I want to be. And you choose to do it differently. And it's all in your power. I want to really tell everybody, it's all in your power. You have this love and strength when you love yourself. And I don't mean that selfish thing that I'm great and we see you strutting down the street and saying, yeah, I'm hot. Now you can do that a little bit, but when you come to life with compassion, and Jacalyn, you're living that, you're caring for your mom, and I have my daughter helping me because I have injured my hands, and this helps you and I be better people wherever we are. Because I cared for my kids,
Yeah.
and that type of stuff.
I agree. Really good points that you're making today. We have a few minutes left, and when we talk about choice, I'd like to just have you share about another topic, which is pet insurance. Pet insurance. Do we choose to get it? Do we choose not to get it? I remember that was always a big decision because I think you pay for it outright or you can pay for it monthly, and you think to yourself, well, what are the the odds that I'm going to actually need this? And then of course something horrible happens and you have to come up with thousands of dollars. So what are your thoughts? Does it depend on what type of pet, the breed of pet?
That is probably the hardest question on the planet you could ask me. No, it really is, because it's so personal. And you would think, oh, well, but what about to put them down or not put down? No. I talk to past pets all the time. That's a simple question. That's a really simple question. But putting out hundreds of dollars that you don't know if you're going to need, every insurance agent is going to say, no, say yes. I wouldn't. You have to decide on your life. You have to decide on your income, and then look at the health of your pet when you adopt. If you have a pet that comes already with health issues, absolutely get insurance, because this, depending on the carrier and all that type of stuff, they're healthy now. It might be a personal decision, meaning that makes things really calm for you. If that gives you the assurance that you've got a backup plan and that is really who you are, absolutely go with who you are. Don't let anybody tell you, okay, you look like you should be a redhead. You really, you act like a redhead. Don't think of, what the heck does that redhead act like? And that kind of stuff. I'm giving a really silly example because I want you to remember, you are in charge of your own life. Always. Even the decisions you don't make are making a decision to not make it. So pet insurance, you should talk to your vet, of course, but he might be selling it. So don't talk to that one. Go read a YouTube. Go look at what people are doing. If I had bought pet insurance with one of my dogs, would it have made difference? No, I probably would have. I probably would have spent more if the insurance was covering it. That I know who I am. I'm cheap and I get it. But I also didn't have a dog that had dysplasia. And that was the breed I had. He had a proclivity for dysplasia. But I got a breed that was healthy all through his entire life. So I was very fortunate because I was very picky about, and now I'm not saying I went anywhere. He was a rescue. He was dropped in a backyard that we bought the house. And I was like, are you kidding? And so we literally got him because we bought the house. And she said, well, you want the dog? And I'm thinking, 2 little kids, a dog, 2 little kids, a German Shepherd. And I did take it. but he ended up being really healthy because I took care of that as he grew, because I got him as a puppy. And then as he grew with me. You need to really decide who you are. If that would give you peace and calm to say, I got this. If a catastrophic illness happens, I can take care of it, then do it. If you're going to be somebody that's going to fret about it and it's going to cause you damage because you fret about it, it's too much stress. And you, every time you write that check or take it out of your account, you go, oh my God, then you really need to reevaluate what's worse. Paying for the animal when, if it gets sick, and making sure that it now stays healthy because you have no insurance. And then you don't have the stress of the insurance because your health is now suffering.
Right.
You've got to pick. Everybody needs to make that decision. Everything you do, I'm going to take that job. I'm not going to take that job. Oh, the money would be great. Oh, but their reputation for crucifying their staff is not. Well, great. You can have all the money you want and be institutionalized still, because you wasted your mental acuity. You wasted the health of your heart and your being. Getting a dog, getting a cat, getting a ferret, a turtle, whatever, a snake for the next 35 years. Those are choices on your health also. Why are you getting a pet? Can you afford it? Can you not afford it? Where are you going? Where are you going to be living? So my suggestion would be, know who you are. And if it would cause you too much stress to not have the insurance, absolutely. But look around. Make sure you get not just the one your vet is pushing, or some vets do that. Some vets, that's part of their package. So look around. Don't just get one idea. I always get 3. When I hired a contractor, I got 3 estimates. When I hired a painter, got 3 estimates. When I went and looked at cars, I went to at least 3 dealerships, because they're all going to sell me something. Yes. But I'm looking at, how are they maintaining the car? What's the warranty on the car? What am I going to get? You know what I mean? Saying, do your homework, and then be true to you. If this would make your life easier to know that you have this protection, please do it. I'm not talking about life insurance for humans. I'm talking about it just for your pets. It's a whole different conversation for people. But it is an expense. It is an expense. But if it creates calm and love and patience, that you go, I got this, you're covered. I know I can handle any illness you get when you're 90, the dog is like, right. In dog years. Yes. Then do it, because you'll have a better relationship. And that's an investment you're making in the love that you want to share with them, not fretting all the time. Oh my God, you tripped. Oh my God, you did. My dog, we would compete in agility, and he slipped the pad of his paw, and it literally the whole paw bottom fell off. So he couldn't walk for a long time. And so these are the kinds of things you don't know. You walk down the street and he trips and breaks a leg or whatever. You can't plan for emergencies. That's not how emergencies work.
Right. But no, that I love how I love how you made it that it's a personal choice, and if it's going to give you peace of mind, then that makes a lot of sense. And Aminah, I know as we come to the end of our show, you have a special offer for our audience. What is that, please?
Yes, I completely forgot. Thank you for reminding me. So just for Dr. Jacalyn's show and everybody that is here, I am offering is normally $75 for a minimum of as a minimum up to an hour. It is normally $75 to talk to me, and I'm doing it for $50 for an hour to come. Now you can pay for more time, but and we can get it done in an hour, and I can help you with any of your pet questions, issues, family, all that type of stuff. Look me up on bridgingworlds.us if you want to take advantage of the offer. Make sure you mention Dr. Jacalyn and her show, and that will ting in that discount of $25 off. And that is only going through, what did I say, Dr. Jacalyn? Are we through the first of the year, I think?
Yeah, I think I'm typing it up right now. I think you said January 1st.
There you go. New Year's. Right. We're going to all flip over and have another year.
And Aminah, while I'm typing this up, do you want to tell our audience about our special event on the 1st? You're going to be hosting an hour with me to have a reunion for 2021.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, I have been so blessed to have so many amazing guests come on and giving back. In the beginning, I really gave back to those coaches and those people who got me where I'm at, and everybody else in between. I'm so excited. This afternoon we have one of my other guests, and she's coming. We have a plethora of people that are from all over. I have Dottie, who comes the second Friday, and she talks to people who have died and all the stories we talk about of what being a psychic really looks like. Everybody else is all animal driven. And so we have a woman coming this afternoon who's going to talk about feeding homeless pets. And I don't mean the pets are homeless. They're owned and or loved and cared for by somebody who is homeless. And that amazing work that she is doing. So we're going to get everybody together and talk about that.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I just typed up all that information, and it's been great seeing you. We have to close out as we have another show coming right up, but everybody can contact Aminah at bridgingworlds.us and also on Facebook, Bridging Worlds.
Absolutely.
All right. We will see you next week. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We look forward to hearing about your holiday tales with your pets. So do contact
No candy canes. They
Yes.
get no candy canes.
No candy. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye, Aminah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.